Hello YouTubes, this is Max's Bachman Plus GP35 that he bought at a train show last year as brand new. When he got it home, it didn't work. Max was not a happy chappy. Today we are going to attempt to turn that frown upside down. The good news is I've already diagnosed what's wrong with this. I was recently working on a Bachman Spectrum, and from the looks of it, it's exactly the same, so I kind of know how everything works. As you can see, this is a split frame, so it's pretty much a sandwich of two steel plates that form the chassis, hold everything together. There's no wires at all, which is actually a pretty good thing. Now, the reason that I know what's wrong with this is, for a start, that motor has been installed upside down, so someone's been into this. I don't know if it was Max or whoever had it before, which is kind of ridiculous if it was sold as new. And if you see this little copper tab in there, that shouldn't be there. You can see in the other one, it's tucked underneath. So all we have to do is separate the two parts, get the motor out, flip it round 180 degrees, shut that little tab, and I guarantee it's going to run like an absolute champ. It looks to be well lubricated and everything, so honestly, all that's wrong with it is that motor upside down, bad connection. Let's get into it. First thing I want to do is drop the front and rear trucks. You do that by removing a little Phillips screw there and there. That just drops down. Make sure you don't lose your drive shaft when you pull this out. Like so. And this is a clever part. As you can see, there's no wires. So it makes its connection from the rails through these little semicircle tabs. They brush against the inside of the wheels, which actually look a wee bit dirty. There's no way this was new. So I will probably remove these trucks and give the wheels a quick clean. The actual surface of the wheels looks fine, but the inside where the wipers pick up, I can see lots of fur bunnies in there. So I will be cleaning that one. Let me get the other one off. It should be exactly the same. As you can see, exactly the same. Also, a little bit dirty in the inside where the wipers are brushing against the inside of the wheels. So again, I'll take that part and give that a quick clean. Let's move on with this. Still trying to get that screw out. Doesn't want to come out. If I don't get it out now, I'll probably lose it. Okay, I'm destined to lose it. Now to separate these, we have 3 screws, again little Phillips, one there, there and there. And at this stage I'm going to point out that this picks up from the left side of the truck. Sorry, we're facing the wrong way. This picks up from the left side of the truck, this from the right. So it's important that there's an isolator between those two sections. There is an isolator at the front, middle, but there's not one at the back. I'm hoping it's in this box. It's still got its new handrails to go on. A couple of screws, a couple of couplers. That's obviously the fake fuel tank. Oh, there's a horn. It's a wee bit bent there, but it's obviously new. It's never been installed. Ah, look, there's the other isolator I was talking about. So I'm going to need that. There's also another 3 screws in here. So I don't know where they were, although one of them is probably for the fuel tank. Okay, I'll keep all the parts in there for now. I don't want to crush them in this box. Except for that can go back in. Okay, so we are going to remove these 3 screws. And these little screws screw into a little plastic receiver in the gap. And it's quite hard sometimes to get these back in because that little receiver, if you can see it there, kind of slides back and forward. Although that one's not sliding at all. But yeah, if that thing slides too far back, like that one is, you see that? If that slides too far back to there, then you can't get the screw in far enough. Once it's in, it'll lock in place into that little square section. So that's worth noting. That screw's still sitting there, by the way. Let's see if we can tweezer it out. Here we go. So that's has got our... That was the wrong screw. Oh no, that's the right screw. There's two screws the same that go on the top. That's for the trucks. Right, let's pull this apart. It's a wee bit tight because it's new. So it just needs a wee bit of a levering. The only thing holding this in like that is the motor and the top of the trucks. You'll see what I mean when I get this off. Also, when you pull this apart, these coupler boxes might fall out, so watch for that. I think it's actually the coupler box that's keeping it together. Nope, it's the screw. I thought I'd removed that all the way. Must have been hanging on by a thread, as they say. Now it comes out. Silly me. Right, I didn't lever it too hard, don't panic. Don't get your knickers in a twist. So, the top of the trucks look like that. That's what they screw into. And they sit in these little slots here. Like so. Anyway, that's not the problem. The problem is this motor. First of all, as I say, it's upside down. I know this because it was running backwards when it was supposed to be running forwards. And it sits in this is all very tight. It sits in this half the chassis, makes contact through that little copper strip and that copper strip there. So I'm going to flip it that way. And what I've noticed is this little V shape should be pointing down the way, not up the way. So these have to make contact with the sides of the chassis, and as you can see, we have the green death in there. This has been sitting somewhere damp for a while, so I need to give this a quick clean and clean up these strips and bend them to where they're supposed to be, because they have been mangled. Oh, let me get my cleaning equipment. Right, I'm going to wear gloves for this for two reasons, and it's not because I'm a big Jessie. One, I'll be using isopropyl alcohol to clean it, and it does kind of dry your skin out. And the other reason is, once I'm done, I don't want to be touching his body with dirty fingers. That sounds a bit rude. I'm going to use this wire brush. This is a sort of wire brush pen. It comes in a kit with a brass one, like that, and a little fiberglass one that I use all the time. But because I'm just cleaning up steel, I'm just going to use the steel brush rather than the brass one. Right, let's give this good scrub-a-dub. So there's a little locating section in there where it looks like the copper strip is supposed to sit. So we'll give that a right good clean. The rest of it doesn't really matter, but look at the corrosion on that. This has been sitting somewhere damp for a long time. So I'm sure it was new once, but it certainly wasn't as described. Such a shame. I'm sure he spent quite a lot of money on this too at the show. That's the chance you take though, eh? See, what I don't like about this metal contact palaver is they always paint it. And how are you going to get a good connection through paint? So I'm just going to scrape this section down. Make sure there's no paint ruining the connection there. Just this one section. Yeah, I'm sure paint stops corrosion, but it also stops connectivity. Yeah, that's better. So now when one of these little copper strips pushes in against that, which is going to be, let's see, so that's the down position, so this arrow has to point this way. Yeah, oh goodness, I'm all over the place. That way. Okay, so that copper strip is going to rest and touch against that. Once I straighten it out, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to have to. It almost looks like part of this strip has been broken off, because it should fold back in itself and rest in there, and there's no way it's going to do that. It's going to poke out the top. Okay, that's all I need to clean on that side. Let me do the other side. Also, you can see black paint where it's supposed to be connecting. It's so dumb. I don't get that at all. Are those little copper strips supposed to pierce through the paint or something? It's so silly. Maybe it's conductive paint. I know I'm joking, but I can't see why they would paint over something that's supposed to have a metal contact. Okay, that should do that. Let's deal with this. What a mess. Yeah, not impressed with that at all. What I really need is needle nose pliers that aren't quite as chunky as this, because I need to straighten this first of all, and then figure out the best way for it to bend back in itself. If it even needs to be honest. It's maybe supposed to be just a little bit curved. Look how green that is. Well, hopefully you can see how green that is. Corrosion. Terrible. So they need a clean. Let me do that. This time I'm going to use my little brass brush, since this is brass or copper. Okay, it was really just one side that was really bad. Could still do with a bit of a scrape, to be honest. It's obviously been getting contaminated by the body itself. Gotta get all that crud off, or it's just not going to make a good contact. I know it's actually only going to make contact with the folded over bit, but still. That green death likes to spread, doesn't it? Okay, that'll do it. Let's see how this is going to fit in without jamming up my little connections. I'm pretty sure on the one I worked on, this little tab folded back more than that. But we'll see what it looks like when it's in. So that needs to go, oh my goodness. I find this so difficult. Arrow pointing down the way, so it's this tab here. But I think it's going to actually hook over and go into the underside of that and appear down there. Yep, that makes sense. So it's actually quite important then that I get the very top of that section there. The wire's going to poke over the top of that, so that really needs to have a nice connection, nice and clean up there. You see what I'm doing there? Because that wire's going to hook over there. Right, let's try that. Arrow point down the way. Nope, every time getting it wrong. It's because I've got this upside down. Right, so it needs to go that way. Okay. Hope you're getting dizzy, because I am. So you see the tab? That sits on the top of that. and gets rammed in there and should give us a nice connection. And the same with this side. So it looks like it is actually the inside section here that's going to make the contact, so I really need to scrape that green stuff off. Wow, this is really on there. Yes, you're not going mad. The top of that did just break off. That's corrosion for you. So I just need to bend the top of that a little bit just to make sure it's got a bit of a something to touch against the side. Okay, let's get the other half on. Remembering to add our little insulator. So he's going to go in there. Insulators poke through and no, rubbish. These little plastic receivers poke through, the insulators go over them to separate the two halves. Let's hold this side because this is where my little truck receivers are. So they slide in there and there. Like so. Still got my insulators, 1, 2 and 3. Squish that together. Let's see how our wire's looking. One there. You can't see the other one because it's a bit shorter than it used to be, but we should be okay. So what I think we can do, once we screw the two halves together, we can actually power it up, make sure it works just by touching either side of this, which is pretty cool. Right, let me screw these back together. These things are a wee bit tricky. I can understand how Max couldn't get this back together again. That little square end has to get shoved all the way up through there, or you can't get the screw to meet up with it. But it has to go in perfectly straight, like that. So that's that one, that one, that one. Should be able to get the screws in now. If they would just behave. As always with metal screws and plastic, don't over tighten them, which I think is what someone's done with this one, because it doesn't seem to be tightening up very well. Tight enough. Right, let me get a power pack and we'll see if this motor now works. So this is just a regular DC controller, an old Tyco job. Should work just fine. So we're going to simulate the trucks touching either side of this chassis. We have motor movement, at least we did. Again, we've got this weird paint thing going on. It's got nice momentum to it. Seems to be kind of sporadic, which is weird. Okay, that's fine. Right, we know that works. So next step will be clean up the trucks, get rid of all the fur balls, and reassembly. This really shouldn't take long because the wheels are actually clean. It just needs the pickups to be clean, that's all. I wonder if the other side's going to come off easier. Yeah, there we go. I'm just seeing something that I don't like in there. Namely this. What is that? And why are you in there? Something else in there that I don't like. What is that? There seems to be some weird growth plastic thing there. You see that? That was stuck to the bottom of the cover. That kind of looks like a bit of detail. Like a brake cylinder or something. I have no idea. If anyone knows what that is, if you can see that, leave a comment, because I don't think it should be living in the truck, in the gears. And I don't see anything falling off of that one. Peculiar. Okay, I'll put it in the box. Let Max worry about that. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, cleaning this. So these wheels just pop out. And they are not sided because they pick up on both wheels, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they're okay. Just a quick clean up with the isopropyl. One down, one to go. And again, let me know why you think there might have been random plastic in there. Right, let me get this one together, get the other one clean, and I'll see you when we're ready to pretty much just screw these back in, get the body on. We're almost there. Sorry, I had to bring you back because when I opened this one, what appears to be, it looks like part of one of the drivers. See that? There's nothing else blue in it except for the drivers. Well, I don't see any missing parts, but that's definitely blue from a driver. And also, there's two of these, which might be driver's legs. I don't know what's going on here. Look, you see them? This is shoddy work, whoever built this. Oh my goodness. Bachman, was that you? Or was someone into this for all the wrong reasons? Just bizarre. Anyway, I don't see anything else in there, so let me finish cleaning this up, bring you back when it's time to install, although we're nearly there. See you in a sec. Okay, we're all clean, ready to reinstall. I just want to add a little bit of grease. If it moves, lube it. Apparently. What's that? We squidge on the worm gear. Let's not go too mad, because this stuff's expensive. Yeah, you don't want too much lube. A little bit down there. These are different sized cogs, so that will lubricate through by itself. And a little dribble of oil in the end shaft. We'll try and get a wee squidge down there as well. That's good to go back in. Same with this one. Why is that got a red gear? That's strange. Almost like someone's been in and replaced this. Yeah, this was definitely not sold by an honest person, or at least the person was completely oblivious to what they were selling. Oh, sorry, a wee squidge of oil down there and down that shaft there. Right, let's reinstall. Shouldn't take long. Just need to make sure we get our drive shafts in. Pop that through there. Get you in your slot. Don't ram it. You can just turn the drive shaft till it locates one of the small screws, which is so small I can't find it. Tiny little Phillips. Get you down there. Tweezers aren't going to help, I don't think. Cool. Don't over tighten these. They do need to rotate freely and a little bit of wobble. Let's get the other one in. Feed that drive feed that drive shaft. Feel that sticky thing. Feed that through. In there. Locate. And the last screw, actually it's not the last screw, still got the fuel tank to go on. Snug but not tight. That's too tight. I over snugged it. There we go, a little bit of wobble. So all that's left is to put the shell on. Take the gloves off for this, since that was the whole point of putting them on, was to protect the shell. Be careful with this. It's not quite as easy as an Athern to get on and off. It's fairly precise. Okay. So I need 2 more screws there and there, which should be in here. Wait a sec, I should have 3 left and I've only got 2. Because I need 1 for there, 1 for there, and obviously 1 for the tank. Did I miss one? Okay, don't worry about that, I'll go and find one. Oh, there it's there, look, sitting on the edge of the magnet. Silly me. So, let's get that one in there. And the other one there. Oh, that one's a bit knackered. Let me go and find another one. Okay, this one looks a bit better. Still got a head on it. And finally, because I'm that confident everything's going to work perfectly, we will get the weight on. Wonder which way around it goes. There's a little fuel filler there. I would say it goes this way to line up with them. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that's what I'm going to go with. So 1 small screw left. And the job is done, I hope. I am pretty confident with this one. Although the arms and legs and the gearbox was a wee bit worrying. Okay, let's see what happens. We're in the forward position. Isn't that nice? Ooh, that's lovely. I do like the Bachman, premium Bachman stuff when it actually works. A slight noise there, but it's probably just needing to lubricate the system. But hey, if there was bits of plastic in the gearbox, then who knows what's happened to all those teeth. And any noise is going to be amplified through the body of the Loco itself. It's running nice though. It needs its detail added, the horns and the front and rear railings. But I will let Max take care of that. It's his Loco after all. All I had to do was get it running. So my work here is done. I'm happy with that. Very nice. Do a wee crawl at the end. Very nice. 3 down, 8 to go. If you want to know what I'm talking about, click up there and you'll see Max's box of shame. Max lives reasonably close, asked if I would try and fix some of his trains. He offered me money, I refused because, you know, I might make it worse. So anyway, we're 3 down, 3 working Locos. I'm going to try and do one every day, so it'll take me about a week and then I can get working on my own stuff again. Anyway, thank you all these lovely people who have been helping me immensely throughout my first year of model railroading. If you want to see what that's about, click below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.